Proverbs chapter 30, reading from verses 24 to 28. Proverbs 30, 24 to 28. 1, 2, reading. There be four things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. The conies, but a feeble folk, yet they make the houses in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet they go forth, all of them by bands. The spider taketh hold with her hands, and is in the king's palaces. May God bless the reading of His word. We come to this last creation of God that He says go learn from, because they are exceeding wise, extremely wise, very wise, doubly wise. And we come to the spider. So we've looked at the ant, the insect. We've looked at the mammal, the small mammal, conies. We've looked at the insect, locust. And now we look at the spider. It's a spider and insect. Spider and insect? Teachers say no, students say yes. The kids here? Yes. Right? The teachers who are in school? No. Is it an insect? No. Oh, Elim says no. Why suddenly now teachers say no, everyone say no? Why is it not an insect? Because? Insects have 6 legs. Very good. They are arachnids. Alright? Arachnids. A-R-A-C-H-N-I-D-S. They are arachnids. So they got more hands than insects. Right? They've got 8 of them. 4 pairs. Well, we always say spiders have 8 legs. Right? 8 legs. Or 4 pairs of legs. So when I read this, I thought, how come it's hands? Spiders' hands. And then I tried to, I didn't go out and catch spiders and look at them. Again, I looked at what biologists, how they photograph them and look. So I looked at a lot of spiders' legs last night. And actually, at the end of it, they actually have hands. It's claw-like. And if you Google, you see they're very beautiful. In fact, when it's zoomed in, they look extremely cute. Little paws, very cute. Very adorable. You want to stroke them and you want to put them on your hand. Very cute, very furry, very, very cute looking. Then I realized at the end they actually have hands. Is God ever wrong? It's His creation. Right? People can argue, no hands, only legs. But at the end of it, under microscope, they have hands. So these little paws. 8 hands. What is the lesson we should learn? What aspect from the arachnid, the spider? The spider. Well, it begins in verse 28. The spider taketh hold with her hands. What about the spider's hands? Well, we know whenever we think of spiders, we think about them spinning web. Right, they're busy spinning web. 8 hands or 8 legs at the end with these paws. They're busy spinning webs. One of the things that is often associated with spiders, so there are many aspects to learn, but very often people say a spider never quits. Spider never quits. In fact, I think it's so true. Spider never quits. Summertime, you all will remember, right? You go out, you clear the spider webs, you sweep them away, you scratch them off the wall, the corners of the doors. Couple of days later, spider web again. Right? And you do all sorts of things to it. They come back, they build again. And often it's the same spider, right? It's often the same spider. The church van has the side windows, right? All cars have side windows, right? The side windows. When I first arrived, there's always spider web on the window. Then when you drive, you can't see because it's all blurry, because it spins the spider web beautifully on the glass. Then you clean it off, then it comes back again. It's a couple of days, sometimes the next day, it comes back again. Overnight, it comes back again. It's terrible because when it rains, all of you, you remember, when it rains, then the water gets caught, then all the water droplets when you drive at night, cannot see, right? Keep cleaning, it's always the same spider. So sometimes you're driving, there's the spider. It sticks out from the back of the mirror, looks at you and says, this is you, right? Then you get on and clean it, next day again. Can't get the spider. You spray, and then after the rain, the mortine goes off, it builds again. They do not give up, right? That's why the pest companies, they do not go broke. Keep coming back. House the same. Pay money for people to climb up to clear spider webs. Then they come back again. But it's the same spider. I couldn't figure out how to kill it. Because every time I come out, smack, it goes back behind. They are very persistent. Very, very persistent. Then I found out they are mortine with a little straw. Then this works. Stick it behind, spray, so it went behind the mirror, no more spider webs. So it's the same spider that comes back again and again. They are very persistent. There's one thing I think we should learn. For the spider, I think we learn patient perseverance. Patient perseverance. They keep persevering. They keep persevering. They are very persistent. They do not give up. They do not quit. With their hands, they will keep spinning. Why do I say perseverance? I didn't realize that whenever people think of spiders, there is a very famous story that naturally many historians will associate with, right? Until I started studying about spiders. Mark, do you know? Has to do with Scotland and England. You know? Good, see, Englishman. Has to do with Robert Bruce, right? Robert Bruce. Now he was taking over his father's place as king in Scotland, right, in the 1300s. But King Edward was a bad man, all right? King Edward chased him out, fought battles with him, pushed him off the throne, and pursued him. So Edward went into hiding, and when he was hiding, like in a cave-like hut kind of place, the famous story has it is this: he was giving up. He said, I think I just give up. It's useless. They're so strong, so persistent, keep pursuing me. I just give up and just leave the throne. But then he was huddled up in the cold in that little hut or cave, and then he noticed a spider. The spider coming down. Then the spider keeps falling. It tries to weave a web across to another beam, another part of the place he was hiding in. Then it will fall down. Then it goes back, then it climbs up again. Then it tries again. And then he was looking at it. Then he counted the number of times the spider would try to swing the web across, not successful, fall down, go back again. And he just kept watching. He counted 6 times. The spider would just keep persistently perseveringly to try to weave her web. In this case, not his or her, but the spider's web, all right? Keep trying. Then he says, I have been defeated 6 times. They have been fighting with me. I fought with Edward 6 times. I keep getting defeated. Then you wonder, will the spider give up? But the spider did not give up. Then you watch. The 7th time. Should I go fight with him the 7th time? And the spider went up. But this time the spider was successful in swinging the web across to the other side, and then he started spinning its web. Then he said, this is a tiny spider. Right? We are learning. In verse 24, they are little upon the earth, I'm so much bigger than this spider. But yet this spider keeps persevering. It did not give up to build its home. Then he said, I must not fail my people. And he resolved to fight. He fought with King Edward, I think another 8 more times. He did not give up. He kept fighting, and eventually he won the war. The people came, joined him, and he became king. So the perseverance, persistence of a spider is well known. That's one of their characteristics. Now, but why patient? Why patient? We learned about being prepared, right? We can say, I must learn to be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. I must learn to take precaution. Take precaution. Take precaution. And sometimes, after some time, we feel like giving up. We prepare. We take precaution, but we get tired. We get tired in the battles. We get tired in our spiritual battles. We want to give up. Now someone asks, Pastor, when I come for camp, I feel revived, I feel challenged. And then when I go back, I crash again. And some of us, we go back maybe for 1-2 more weeks, 1-2 more months. We still feel revived, we still want to walk close to the Lord, we persevere, we resist temptation, we take precaution, we are always trying to be prepared. We fight the spiritual battle, putting on the full armor of God. But then after some time, we feel like giving up, and we give up. We don't persevere. So, I believe the Lord wants us to know you can be prepared, you can take precaution, you can be purposefully united, but if you don't persevere like the spider, it is no use. Learn from the spider as well. When we walk in this world, we are going to face non-stop resistance, temptations, pushback from Satan as we desire to walk close to him. What's the theme of the camp? It's being steadfast. At the end of it all, we need to be steadfast. And steadfastness, as we learn from the spider, requires a patient kind of steadfastness. A patient kind. You may not see success immediately. Like the spider, I try, I fall. Yes, sometimes you will say, Lord, I want to obey you. I prepare, I take precaution, I purpose in my heart, but I fall again. Do not give up. Get up. Confess, ask for forgiveness, persevere again. Be patient for the results to come. Sanctification, as we've learned, is a progressive thing. So don't be discouraged. Not just one, but few of you ask, Pastor, I get discouraged. And I go back, I know the same things are going to happen again. So it's an apt lesson. Be patient. Be patient. Why I'm not suddenly so very prayerful, very strong in the Lord, like the other brethren? Why am I still like that? Be patient. Don't give up. The spider was like that. Patience means you must keep doing things with your hands. That's why I say the spider keeps doing things with her hand. Keep going at it. Keep doing it. Now, spiders can have up to 8 eyes. That's what I read. 8 eyes. Some may have less. Why did not God point us to the eyes? The spider looks with her eyes. Actually, that's us. We always look. Just look. Look. The hands in the pocket. Right? Sit down at dinner table. Just look. All the children just look. Then dad and mom say, "Oi, use your hands to do something." The Lord point us to the hands. Patient perseverance is you keep doing something. You can't just go, I give up. I throw up my hands. Take the Bible. Do FEBC courses. Do your homework. Come for fellowship. Those are legs also, right? Walk. Make an effort. Get up. Go for fellowship. Be patient and persevere in that patience. Do something. So the Lord says the spiritual battle is something that we know is progressive. We need to keep at it. Be steadfast in all these things. We've learned as much as we can in 4 days about doctrines. Be persistent in learning doctrines. In fellowship, come. Say, I don't have 8 legs, but your legs are stronger. Come. Come for it. We learn about the sacraments. Persevere in it. Be focused in it. Understand it. Live it. We learn about prayer. Persist in the place of prayer. Do not, or rather the Lord says, pray without ceasing. So the Lord points us to the hands. Points us to the hands. Well, of course, there are practical lessons that I know parents sit there and say something about doing something to my children. Well, God reminds us the spider works with the hands. Now I'm very pleased and thankful that the young ones, you've learned and you try to do, right? We learned about initiative. So now I see them taking initiative. After the message, I walked out, the cups fell down. Someone hurry up, pick it up. Right? In the past, I see people just keep walking past, fall down, go on. So at least now people have initiative. Work, right? But there is also the character of the spider. It is just like that. It keeps doing things, keeps working, keeps trying. Now, how do I know that at least as a character, a Christian character that I should learn from the spider, I am someone like the spider, with my hands, busy with my hands? Well, the Lord does say in Ecclesiastes, it's just next book. Let's turn to Ecclesiastes 9:10. Use your hands. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10. What's a reminder? Let us read together. Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. In this life, whatever there is legitimate, not sinful things, obviously, that we find with our hands, do it with all your might. When you are at work, does your company, colleagues, your boss see you like a spider? Always scuttling around, busy with your hands? Or are you someone that cut corners, that try to do as little as possible and get away with it? That if no one is watching, I fold my hands. Can't imagine a spider with 8 legs folded. When it's like that, what happens? What is the spider? It is dead. Right? When the spider dies, that's the only time you see all the hands come together. If not, it's stretched out, busy. Don't be a slob. Now, one thing about the spider that you notice is, do you often see spider webs in the open? But they are actually very often everywhere. You only see them when the rain comes, right? When the rain comes, then the water droplets, hey, there's a spider web there, I didn't know. Then when the sun comes, it glitters, oh, there's a spider. Most of the time, it's quite transparent to man. It's quite transparent to man. But despite that, or rather put it this way, the spider just spins and make webs. Whether man sees it or not, it does not matter to the spider. Why do I bring this up? Because when I read more about how a spider spins with its hands, People do mathematical projects on it. Do you know that? Yeah? Young ones, do you do spider web projects? No. I didn't realize. Now they actually spin, and the calculations, how they do it, is mathematical and is very precise. They will find 2 anchor points first. They will find 2 anchor points. That is why that spider was trying to start off the spider web, right? Robert Bruce at that time, I don't think he knew. But the spider will have to look for 1 anchor point. Once it gets the anchor point, from there it will mentally, instinctively do all the calculations and build. And it is now known, as people study their behavior, how far that beam is. It can do a mental calculation and know how much web to use. It is like that. That's how precise they are. That's how God created them. And then when it starts spinning, not prepared. Oh, panicking. Now, people have formulas, mathematical formulas for it when they calculate. Once you find the anchor points, then it will start, actually it goes and starts working. So you see it very busy with 8, just going around. And then the distances and all that, they are very precise. It's just that we don't know. So I won't bog you down with the mathematical formula. I tried to analyze it from whatever I remember of physics, but they follow a certain rule with the radius and all that. Do you and I know about it until today? Well, maybe some students, they know. In those days, you think they knew about it? But it seems. So I said, did they know about it then? I tried to pull up old commentators. They talk about this. They talk about the mathematical precision. But we don't even see it. And the thing is, I'm sure back then they are like us. See spider web, wipe it out. See spider web, wipe it out. So then I realized every time I wipe out that spider web, when he has meticulously, with precision, methodically built the thing, knowing that tomorrow this joker is going to get up the car, he's going to wipe off the thing that I do again. But he does it again. He does it again. He does it again. With all this kind of precision. Of course, there are certain spider species that their webs are a mess. Right? Just one big blob. But there's order to the blob. All right? It's designed to catch certain kind of insects, as I understand. So they do it with a purpose. But the point is this. When you're working, when I'm working, when we serve the Lord, when we do things in church, when you work at home, when you are given projects, don't do it because sub-teacher is going to sit, mommy and daddy is going to sit. Don't do it because my boss is going to sit. How do I know I am like the spider with my hands? Be methodical, be meticulous, be detailed, be diligent. I say that again. Be methodical. Don't just serve any old how. We serve the King of Kings. Plan, think. Don't just turn up and wing it. God says learn from the spider. No one sees, and it knows that it keeps getting wiped out, but it will still apply the same methodical meticulousness to working with its hand. So, young ones, when daddy, mommy says, go wash the plates. My Shelley is very good, The boys, the young ones, what they wash, their duty. Don't do a slob job. Don't do a slob job. We must build this character in us and be very diligent. People at work, be diligent workers. Be detailed. Don't be... today is Friday. I want to go off at 2 o'clock to go surfing. And just get something done. And then get out. That's why whenever I have anything that I need to repair in my house, if you call a handyman, say we come on Friday. No, it's okay. Don't come on Friday. They just want to do something and then get out. The diligence, the details, all gone. We should not be like that. Now recently, there have been many cases of what do you call that? Retrenchment. Is that what you call it here? Retrenchment. People being let off at work. What do you call it here? Retrenchment. All right? Let off at work. But I notice many Christians, many of our church people, they stay on. I say, how? Well, another department, whole bunch of people let off, whole bunch of people let off, whole bunch of people let off. But the person is standing. Am I saying as long as you're Christian? No. You are Christian in BPCWA. You'll be standing. And when I think about these particular ones, their lives. Now, I'm not saying if you get retrenched, then you're not like that, all right? But there seems to be a consistency with these people that remain standing. When they serve in church, you can tell. They are very meticulous, they are very detailed, they are very diligent. You don't have to chase them for things. When they do something, they say, I'm doing this unto the Lord. They are very, very careful. They are very zealous about it. And I'm sure that's how they work at work. People like that, when a company needs to let off people, who do you think they want to let off? The lazy grasshopper or the hardworking spider? Always the boss will say, keep this guy. You know, although he has 2 hands, he works like he has 8. Usually I ask, so what happened now? Yeah, I took on 4 people's job now. Yeah, 2 hands. But the boss look at you and say, looks like he got 8 hands. So they stay. Now, so for Christians, I'm not saying do it for that. That's why you look at this. Look at this verse 20. Now, it is linked with verse 28. The spider taketh hold with her hands. This time is very interesting. It says, and is in king's palaces. And is in king's palaces. Now, the other comparisons tend to be yet. Yet. Right? Verse 24 is but. Verse 25 is yet. Verse 26 is but. Yeah, those are like but is italics in the case of verse 26 even. But the King James translators, they are really so good at it. I say, why all but this end? Anyway, the end exists in the Hebrew word. The end is there. The other ones, they have to give the contrast to us. But this one is end. She works with her hands, and this end is emphasizing that the continuing of the thought. Because she works with her hands, therefore, and you see, the spider is found in king's palaces. What is the thing that we want to learn specifically? Just like hardworking people, if you are diligent, you work with all your might, what your hands find to do, you are such a character. When people get let off, you will still be found there. Now, palaces are places that people want to be in, right? The king is there. They will find all sorts of ways to be present there. How can I find time to be with the king in the palace? Wow, palace is a beautiful, well-protected place. It's fortress. As an ordinary person, I can't go in. Even if I'm an important person getting into the palace, small chance. The king lives there. I need an appointment. But God says, if you are a diligent, meticulous, patiently persevering person, that you know, if I not do this, I get wiped out, but you do it again very carefully. As a student, as a working person, as a mother, as a parent, you are like that. You will find yourself in places where people want to be and can't be in. I'm not saying God is saying aim to be in palaces, aim to be promoted, aim to be big boss. If you're hardworking, why you will be that? The spider do not care where it is. Do you think a spider that builds its web in Robert Bruce's cave and the one in the palace? You think they feel different? You think when they meet, hey, I live in King's Palace, you know? What about you? Live in this dilapidated place. They are not seeking to be in king's palaces. But God says, you see, they can be there. So this is not saying that spider aims to be in palaces. But the spider is very resourceful, very diligent. They can get anywhere. So don't work just to get promotion. Work because you are like the spider that is very, very persevering, very diligent worker. So as you see, the spider spins all this, wipe it up. They will keep going. Patient perseverance. Patient perseverance is now an internal character of us when we learn from it. So when you go back to work, we go back to school, when you do things at home, don't be someone that cut corners, right? They don't cut corners. They still use the same mathematical formula in their minds and very meticulous. Now that is what I hope we learn. Stick at it. Recently someone shared, I just got promoted at work. I want to thank God for that. Before that, this person asked me, Pastor, should I change job? Should I change job? I said, why do you want to change job? So the person said, well, I'm not learning much here already and I feel I'm stagnant. So I want to take on a new job, another company maybe to learn more. My advice was, as a Christian, don't keep looking for these things. Like the spider, it's not looking to live in a palace. Just continue to be a diligent worker. Continue to be someone that when they look at what this is Christian, is just different. Just focus on that. The reason why a Christian works hard is not for promotion, not for learning more, simply because it is our character to be like that and people will see us and glorify God. That's it. Don't work for more money. So I say, unless God makes it very clear, stay put. From my experience, every time my Christian employees ask me, boss, I want to join another company. I say, why? Same reason, to learn more and all that. I say, just keep at it, you know, but I can't stop you if you want to go. By and large, they will call again, boss, can I have my old job back? They regret. And those that stay on, persevere, just work hard. These are the ones that keep getting promoted. I say again, I'm not saying be a spider to get promoted, right? But you just be like that. Same in the spiritual realm. Don't give up. The results will come. Now, the last thing. Look at verse 28. So we talk about the hands and the palace. But then I wondered, how come in this case the gender is brought up? Do you notice? The spider taketh hold with her hands. It's like, how do I explain her hands to you? I wonder how many of you notice. Is it her? How come female? Right? Why gender is mentioned in this particular case? So why gender? Why gender? Kept wondering. So when I go to the Hebrew, yeah, it's feminine. Feminine. And then I look at the word spider. Then I look at other references of spider in the Bible. It's masculine. Masculine spider. But in this case, God used feminine for this particular creation of His. Something it is a lizard. So I was wondering, why are there people that think it's a lizard? So you will see people talking about a lizard. Why lizard? But this word spider has more to do with something that is poisonous. All right? It seems to come from a root word about something that's poisonous. So back then they believed lizards are poisonous, and some lizards, they secrete certain poisonous things, and then that's how they capture their prey. But I believe the King James translators, they're accurate because it's about hands, you know. Lizard's hands, not very big deal, but spider's hand, very interesting. So it has to be about poisonous. Then I googled the difference between male and female spiders. It's so wonderful, right? I don't have to go and catch spiders and try to analyze them. I love to catch spiders. I used to love to play with spiders. My dad was very frustrated. He always told me, spiders are dirty. They are poisonous. I still hear his voice. Poisonous. I won't stop playing with them until one day my friend said, you know, you those fighting spiders, you want your spider to win others. My spider always lose in those fighting match. So you starve it. You starve it and then you feed it chili. And so I starved my spider, I fed it chili. It didn't want to eat chili. Alright? Starve it, feed it chili. So my dad said, stop playing with these dirty things. Then one day I brought it to school. Alright, starve for 2 days, now it will win. When to fight? Yes, it was very powerful. It was really, really very, very vicious. It ate the other spider. It was so gross. I stopped playing with spiders ever again. I think my father thought I obeyed him. I thought, this is really too gross. I didn't want to take it back. I said, you keep it. It was so gross. Poisonous. Then I found out that the female spider is much more poisonous than the male spider. Marco, yes. How do you know that? Oh, you saw a documentary. The female spider its ability to produce poison is a lot more than the male. I said, oh, that has to do with the word is poison. Choose female, must be about poison. What do we learn about poison and the king? Then I look at the word taketh with the hands. This word is often used to talk about seizing, manipulating, taking hold of, and very often talking about winning battles. Then we've been seeing animals, insects, mammals, about survival. The spider in the palace. The palace is a well-guarded place. The enemies, if they want to win, they want to break into the palace, break into the fortress, kill the king. They can't get in. Well protected. The spider can get in. The spider is smaller than the soldiers, looking weaker than the soldiers. Others can't get in. The spider will be there. What has it to do with poison? Then I say the spiders go around trying to poison people. Human bite you. Do they do that? No. Much to our misconception, we always think that spiders, now they are poisonous. I tried to find out, are these talking about spiders in Israel in those days? In Israel, they have poisonous spiders. Even today, the government website will talk about when you come to Israel, be careful of certain creatures. Spiders were one of them named. They say they are poisonous. I think the black widow is one of them. The black widow is one of them, and they are poisonous. So they say, well, typically we always think black widows kill people, right? The bite will die. But by and large, you won't die, but you will suffer. You will suffer, right? But they say there are cases where people do die. In fact, certain breed, their poison that they secrete is 15 times more venomous than the rattlesnake. That's scary. So they are poisonous. But they can be in the palace. They won't attack the king. So they only bite you and secrete poison into you when it is under threat. Alright, you accidentally sit on it, or when you're doing your gardening and then you disturb it and the thing is you're attacking it, it will bite you. But by and large, they scuttle away. They do not want to poison you people. They won't. So the lesson is not, more poisonous, I'll be more poisonous. Go around and poison people's mind. Definitely not. But when other people want to kill the king, they cannot. But do you know, if the king sits on it or tries to catch it, the spider can give the king a very hard time and even kill the king. What is a spider? Small, insignificant. What are the enemies of the king? Armies cannot get in. Now in your spiritual battle, in my spiritual battle, when we persevere, sometimes you say, I cannot, I'm too weak, I will fall again, I give up. Why would you persevere? The Lord says we are more than conquerors through Christ. In Christ, we are more than conquerors. We are able to overcome. Though we may be weak, we see ourselves as weak, and that is good. Like the conies, You know your weakness. But know that in Christ, you can overcome. Like the spider, it knows you attack me. Although I'm small, your enemies can't paralyze you, but I can. Of course, God is not saying we are powerful. The reminder is always we are able. When you persevere, you are able. You have the strength to fight that spiritual battle and win. Christ is our King. He is the one that fights the battles for us. You can. So 2 lessons, and it's a key thing that I hope we remember. Actually, I forgot to turn you to a particular verse. Now, there is the verse that talks about the fact that I think I've lost my paper. The fact that when we are diligent, we will be found in king's palaces. Proverbs 22. See, this verse was just after the verse that Dr. Koo pulled out. Proverbs 22, verse 29. Proverbs 22, verse 29. How do we know that the spider being diligent will have results? Let's read together. Proverbs 22, verse 29. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. The diligent man shall stand before kings. The spider, though small, let's turn back to Proverbs 30, the second lesson. If you are a patient, persevering Christian, the second thing is, look at verse 24. Though you be little upon the earth, but if you are patiently persevering, you are able to win the battles through Christ, though you are small. Be wise. Be wise. Be patiently persevering. Don't give up when you go back from camp. So first lesson we learn about the ants is preparedness. Lesson about the conies, be precautious. Lesson about the bending locusts, have purposeful unity. Lesson about the spider, patient perseverance. Don't give up. You can overcome your spiritual struggles through the Lord. Be patient. Be meticulous. Be diligent. Be such a Christian at work. Let us pray. Now, someone asked, what is the difference between psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs?
有人说诗章、颂词、灵歌有什么不同？
Someone also asked, can we just have instrumental music?
有人说我们只要乐器的音乐就好。
Can we worship God with instrumental music?
我们单单用乐器的音乐来敬拜神就好，可以吗？